TIFU by forging my mom's signature. So this happened in 3rd grade. But I still think about it more than any other childhood memory, so I figured I would share. I didn't do my homework one day, like most days, and my teacher was understandably fed up with me. She wrote a letter to my mom to inform her that I hadn't completed my homework, and I was to get it signed by the next day. For some backstory, I spent a lot of my childhood grounded. I was quite a terrible brat. This time, though, I had a plan to not be grounded for ignoring my schoolwork. I was going to sign the letter from my teacher as my mom. She wouldn't ever know I hadn't done my homework. I wouldn't be grounded, and my teacher would get the signature she wanted. I went to school the next day and turned the letter in to my teacher. I was nervous, but after a few hours I hadn't heard anything about it, so I figured I got away with it. Man, was I wrong. My teacher asked me to hang back with her during lunch, so I obliged. This is how our conversation went. Teacher, I know your mom didn't sign this letter. Me, yes she did. Teacher, no, she did not. Me, how would you know? Teacher, I'm pretty sure your mom's name isn't Mom. Me, quote. Y'all, I had signed the letter, Mom. Literally just wrote, Mom, at the bottom of the paper. I had never thought about my mom's actual name, let alone signature. My teacher then gave me another letter to take home to my mom that said 1. I didn't do my homework, and 2. I lied about getting the first letter signed. Now, I may have been the biggest idiot in the world, but I didn't want to get grounded, so I devised a master plan. My mom would pack me a small lunch every day, and she would include a nice handwritten note on a napkin. I woke up at 4 a.m. when I knew she would be packing my lunch. She worked really early until really late, and asked her to sign the lunch note for me. She signed it, Mom, so I asked her to use her actual signature. Bless her heart, she did it. When she left for work, I very carefully traced her signature on the damning letter from the school. It was the perfect plan. Or so I thought. My mom has a weird signature that looks like scribbles. I turned the letter in, waited, and again was called to stay behind during lunch. The conversation went much the same as the first. Instead of sending a letter home, though, my teacher decided to call my mom at work. This was a big no-no. My mom worked at a very busy hospital and could hardly spare time in her day to talk on the phone. My teacher made me admit to my mom what I had done. I was sobbing at this point. My mom flipped out. She told me that this is called forgery. She was going to call the FBI to come after me, and I was going to go to prison. She told me my family was going to sue me. For reference, 2 people in my family are high-profile prosecutors, and 2 are defense attorneys. So I'm crying, thinking I'm going to get sent to the slammer and my life is over for good. I get home from school to find my mom waiting for me, and she grounded me for 2 months. She took my favorite possession, my light pink Nintendo DS. My Nintendogs were surely going to run away within these 2 months. I was devastated. 2 months later, my mom couldn't find my Nintendo DS. I never did get it back. My mom texted me yesterday that she finally found it. It's been 15 years. TLDR, I forged my mom's signature on a letter from my school. But I wrote, Mom. I forged it again, correctly, but the school didn't believe me. I had to call my mom to tell her what happened, and I had my Nintendo DS taken away for 2 months. My mom lost my DS and I haven't seen it in 15 years. She found it an hour after I bought a Nintendo Switch. Edit. A lot of Redditors have pointed out that this sounds similar to a post from the POV of a parent who lost their child's Nintendo for more than a decade. I'm glad to report that my mom does not use Reddit, so some other sucker lived with the loss of a Nintendo for many years. I asked my mom where she found it, and it turned out to be hidden in a box of random cords in one of her spare bedrooms. She is flying out here to see me in a week, and will hopefully be bringing the DS with her. I can't wait to see if the thing even turns on anymore. Like and subscribe for more.